everyone, welcome again to Mathematics and I. It is your favorite presenter Jefferson, and today we have 3 questions on the board, and we will be evaluating these integrals. Now don't forget the topic we are on is integration, and we have 3 questions that are under indefinite integrals. Okay, so we are going to be seeing how we can solve these problems in this question. So in case you see questions that are familiar like this, you will know what to do. Okay, there are 3 questions on the board and we shall solve them now together. Now if this is your first time of joining us in our channel, you are welcome to Jeff Nino, Mathematics and I. So please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and don't forget to share this video. Okay, let the class begin. The first question says integrate 3x over 1 plus 9x raised to the power of 2 dx. Now when you see a question like this is how you go about it. Now you work with the denominator, not the numerator, with the denominator, and then you equate the denominator to u. Okay, so it means u is equal to 1 plus 9x squared. Okay, now when you do this, the next thing you do is to solve for dx. Now for us to get dx, we have to differentiate this function. And so when we differentiate du, when we differentiate u with respect to x, we're going to have this. Du over dx is equal to 18x. Now how did I get 18x? If we should differentiate 1, it is 0. If we should differentiate 9x raised to the power 2, it is 18x, because 2 times 9 is 18 and 2 minus 1 is 1. Now from this point, we will cross multiply. So when we cross multiply, 18x multiplies dx and du multiply 1. So 18x times dx gives us 18x dx. Okay. Now du times 1 gives us du. Now remember we said we want to solve for dx. So for us to make dx the subject, we have to divide both sides by 18x. So here becomes over 18x and here becomes over 18x. Okay. Now if 18x should cancel 18x, I have dx is equal to du over 18x. Okay, now we have solved for dx in the question. So what we are going to do now is to rewrite this question. Now when we rewrite this question, we're going to be having this. The integral of, I have 3x, okay, I'm a numerator. Now what I have down now is now u. 1 plus 9x squared is u. So here becomes 3x over u dot. Now what do I have as my ds? My ds is du over 18x. So here becomes du over 18x. Okay, are we there? So if we should do this, you will notice, now the dot here means multiplication. Now you will notice that 3x can cancel 18x. If we do that, we're going to have this. The integral of, if 3x cancel 3x, I will have 1 over u, okay, dot du over, now if 3 should cancel 18, I will have 6. And if x should cancel x, there is no more x. So it means 3x should cancel 18x 6 times. So now when you have done this, the next thing you do here is to factor out your constant. We have to bring out our constant. Now our constant in this is 1 over 6. That is our constant. 1 over 6. So if we bring 1 over 6 out, it becomes 1 over 6 into the integral of 1 over u du. Okay, so this is to inform us that if we have notes, if we integrate 1 over x dx, the answer we will get is ln x plus k. Okay, if we should integrate 1 over x dx, the answer we will get is ln x plus k. Now, why do I have k? Because the question is an indefinite integral, there is no limit. So automatically, if I should have 1 over 6, if I integrate 1 over u, here it was 1 over x, but now we have 1 over u. So if I integrate 1 over u, what will I get? Ln u plus k. Are you following what I'm doing? Following the notes that I just gave. Now at this point, don't forget we said that u is 1 plus 9x squared. So if we should substitute back u for 1 plus 9x squared, we're going to have this 1 over 6 laying into the brackets of 1 plus 9x squared plus k. This becomes the answer to question number 1 if we should integrate this function. Okay, now I hope you understand what we just did now in question number 1, because right about now we're about to begin question number 2. But please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and don't forget to share this video. Now let us begin question number 2. Okay, question number 2. Now, question number 2 says integrate 3x over 1 plus 9x squared raised to the power of 4. Okay, now dx. Again, how do I solve this? We are going to be solving with the denominator. Okay, now what we have in the bracket is 1 plus 9x squared. So it will be our u. So automatically again, u is equal to 1 plus 9x squared. Okay, now the next thing for us to get solve for ds. Now solving for ds means we are going to differentiate this formula. So here becomes du over dx is equal to 18x again. Now how did I get 18x? If I differentiate 1, I'll get 0. If I differentiate 9x squared, I'll get 18x. So what do we do next? Base 0 over 1 and cross multiply. Now 18x times the x again gives us 18x dx, and du times 1 gives us du. Now for us to get the x, I have to divide both sides by 18x. Now when 18x cancel 18x, what do I have? The x becomes du over 18x. Okay. Now once we have gotten the x, the next thing we have to do is again rewrite the question. Very important. So when we write this question, we're going to have the integral of 3x over. Don't forget we said what is in the bracket now is u. So what do we have? U raised to the power 4. Okay, because of the power here. Now dots. Now our ds is du over 18x. Again, 3x can cancel 18x to give us 6. So here becomes the integral of 1 over u raised to the power 4 dot du over 6. So what do we do next? Now we bring out the constant. Our constant is 1 over 6. So if we bring it out, we're going to be having this 1 over 6 into the integral of 1 over u raised to the power of 4 du. Now at this point, what we are going to do, because the u at the denominator has a power, u goes up. Now when u raised to the power 4 goes up, it becomes u raised to the power minus 4, a negative 4. So here becomes 1 over 6, okay, into the integral of u raised to the power of negative 4 du. Okay, u raised to the power of negative 4 du. So at this point, we are going to integrate. Don't forget we said when we are integrating, you add 1 to your power. Don't forget that from the beginning of the class. We add 1 to your power. So if I have minus 4 and then I add 1, it becomes what? Minus 3. So here becomes 1 over 6. Then u raised to the power of, into the bracket of u raised to the power of minus 3, okay, over minus 3 plus k. How did I get minus 3 again? I added 1 to the power. And don't forget that when we are integrating, when you add 1 to the power, what you have as the power now will also be at the denominator. So if we should open the bracket, we're going to be having this. 1 times u raised to the power minus 3 gives us u raised to the power of minus 3 over 6 times minus 3 will give us minus 18 plus k. Okay, now without wasting time, this is what we are going to be having. We're going to be having this. Naturally, don't forget we said that this u, normally this u was as the denominator, not the numerator. We only took it to the numerator in order for us to integrate. So what we are going to do now is that we are going to bring back the u to the denominator. If I bring back u to the denominator, it means what will remain here? 1. Because if u raised to the power minus 3 goes down, it becomes 1 at the numerator. So here becomes minus 1 over 18. Are we there? Minus 1 over what? 18u raised to the power 3 plus k. Now I come again. How did I get this minus here? Because we have a positive sign. Positive divided by a negative will give us negative. How did I get this 1? The u that came down, we have 1 left. Okay, now when the u comes down, it will multiply the 18 that is at the denominator. So I have 18u raised to the power 3. But don't forget we said that u now was what? 1 plus 9x squared. So the final answer becomes minus 1 over 18 into brackets 1 plus 9x squared. Now raised to the power of 3 plus k. This becomes the answer to that question. Minus 1 over 18 into the bracket of 1 plus 9x squared. How did I get 1 plus 9x squared? U we said is 1 plus 9x squared. So where is this 3 from? This positive power that is here plus our k. So class, this becomes the answer to question number 2. This becomes the answer to question number 2. So we have just one question left for today, what? Video. And let's all solve this problem. Question number 3, which is the last question for today. Okay, question number 3 says integral of 3 over 1 plus 9x squared dx. Now, if you take a look at this question very well, you will notice a change. Now, what is the change? At the numerator, there is no x. At the numerator, there is no x. So it means we have to what? Make some changes in this question. Now, let us proceed. Don't forget that 9x squared here, this 9x squared, is the same thing as 3x raised to the power of 2. They are the same thing. Now let me break it down, how it became this. Now 9x squared can be written as 3 raised to the power 2 and x raised to the power 2. Don't forget that. Now 3 raised to the power 2 is 9. This is our x raised to the power 2. Now 3 and x has a common power, which is power 2. So what do? Put your 3 and x in a bracket and then give it a common power, which is what? 2. So this is why I said 9x raised to the power 2 is the same thing as 3x all raised to the power of what? 2. So it means in this question, where I have 9x raised to the power 2, what will I give now? 3x all raised to the power of what? 2. So let's begin. Now here becomes the integral of 3 over 1 plus 3x all raised to the power of 2 dx. Okay, are we there? Now, at this junction, our u will now be the one inside the bracket. And what is inside the bracket? 3x. Are we there? So here becomes u is equal to 3x. Now, what's the next thing we're going to do now? We're going to look for what? ds. And how did I say you solve for ds? By differentiating the function. u equal to 3x. So here becomes du over dx is 3. Again, base 3 over 1 and cross multiply. 3 times ds gives us 3dx and du times 1 gives us du. And you with me? Now, from this point, we're going to solve for ds by dividing both sides by 3. Over 3 over 3. Now, when 3 cancel out 3, I have ds is equal to du over 3. So it means we have solved for ds. Now, what did I say is the next thing we are going to do? We have to rewrite the question. Now, if we are rewriting this question, it would look like this. Here becomes the integral of 3 all over. Now, what I have is 1 plus. Now, remember we said 3x is u. So here becomes u raised to the power of 2. Are you with me? Now, dot, what do I have here now? ds. What's our ds? du over 3. Now, if you see, you will see now that it is possible for 3 to cancel 3. So what do? Here becomes the integral of 1 over 1 plus u raised to the power of 2 du. Now, from this point, I have to introduce you to the concept of inverse of tan. Now, if we should integrate this, note, if we integrate 1 over 1 plus x squared ds, we will get the inverse of tan x. If we integrate 1 over 1 plus x squared ds, we will get the inverse of tan x plus k. Now, it means in this question, if what I have now is 1 over 1 plus u squared instead of 1 over 1 plus x squared. So it means if I should integrate 1 over 1 plus u squared, what I will get is inverse of tan u instead of tan x because they make use of u. So here becomes the inverse of tan u plus k. It's as simple as that. But don't forget that we said what is u in the question. We said that u is 3x. U is 3x. So what becomes the final answer to this question? It becomes tan inverse of 3x plus k. This becomes the final answer to the question. This becomes the final answer to the question. So you see, we have come to the end of today's class, and I hope that you have learned something new. Now, if this is your first time of joining us in our channel, please don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to share the video so that other persons can also learn from it. Now, also don't forget we now have online classes. Okay, so if you know you are you need an online tutor for math classes, just tweet us on our Twitter page at Jeff90, and then we will surely get back to you. Till we meet again in our next video, thank you for watching. Bye for now.